Since 1985, Sprecher Brewing Company has been committed to brewing a diverse variety of quality beers and sodas. Along with their commitment to a diverse product, they also have a strong commitment to diversity. Sprecher Brewing Company is proud to be a sponsor of the Focus on Diversity program. We are honored to participate in Milwaukee's great brewing tradition, and we're grateful for the opportunity to present our best to you.
And now, back to Focus on Diversity with Troy Shaw.
And welcome back to the program. Let's continue on with our diversity discussion. Wasted, as many as 6 million prepared meals stockpiled near potential victims of the 2006 hurricane season spoiled in the Gulf Coast heat last summer when the Federal Emergency Agency ran short of warehouse and refrigeration. That means that more than $40 million worth of food, $40 million worth of food, gentlemen, has just been thrown away. Robert, what do you think about this? I mean, this agency is just screwing up left, right, left, and it's costing us money.
It's an agency that is connected to an administration that is incompetent, that has lost control of government, and it is unable to direct and dictate the policies of the bureaucracies of this government in a way that is going to ensure that this kind of waste, this kind of awful mismanagement doesn't occur. This is a travesty.
You can always tell when Robert's about to go at the president, but yeah, I got to agree with you right here. I mean, Mike, what does it take to run this agency appropriately? $40 million is like 40 cents to these people? I mean, come on.
Well, I guess the obvious question that I would ask is, Katrina's now, 2 years in the past? Mm-hmm. What are we still stockpiling food for?
Well, I think one of the points is to make sure that a tragedy like this doesn't happen again, but proper refrigeration, because the hurricane season is still upon us, you know?
Well, then maybe we should go back to the old sea rations of the Army, because you could store those for 40 years and never have a problem. Mm-hmm. But I think the point here, the point of what this illustrates is that the American government response to a disaster like Katrina is to throw money at it. Mm-hmm. And not to throw common sense at it. You know, when this happened and we were funding the $2,000 American Red Cross Visa cards, and then we found out that they were being charged at Coach or Gucci stores or what have you, it was the federal government's response is, I've got to show my compassion by throwing a lot of money at this problem without any restrictions, without any controls, without any follow-through or management. Mm-hmm. And I think that in a lot of respects, I'm not going to totally agree with Robert for obvious reasons, but the federal government is not best positioned in some cases to do these things. Private organizations are. The American Red Cross is. The Salvation Army is. Mm-hmm. And maybe it would be a better use of taxpayer dollars to give organizations that are equipped, trained, and ready to respond to these kind of disasters funding as opposed to just throwing money at the problem.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, we're talking about money. I think money does need to be infused in how we fix the problem, but maybe the federal government just isn't the right person to do it.
You're absolutely correct in that. And I am not going to go to the extreme of you, Robert, for obvious reasons. You look at the Visa card piece, and there was, I believe it's $80-some million there that was overage. Then you have the $40 million here in food. You also have a trailer scandal that's now come up where there was about $400 million worth of trailers that were illegally companies overpriced piece. It's still being investigated. There's a whole other reason that's going out there now. And still, you look at these neighborhoods and nothing's done yet. You still go down there and they're a whole nothing at all. And it's sad how the federal government is not taking.
But you're right. I mean, why not give this money to Pulte Homes and say, yes, go rebuild this neighborhood? Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'd be willing to do that.
Would love to do it.
The important thing here is that we had a local Congressman Sensenbrenner was the only one standing up when this appropriation went through and said, guys, there's no control here. Mm-hmm. There's no follow-up. There's no restrictions. What we're going to do is just give this money, and we're going to see that a lot of it's wasted. And he was right.
Newt Gingrich started this revolution in the 80s for the Republicans to take control of the federal government so that we could stop this. And the Republicans have been control of the federal government, and they have control of the executive house. They have control of the Senate. They have control. They had control of Congress all these years. And still, what we see is a federal government that has never been fixed by these individuals who said they were going to go in office.
I have to admit, look, I voted for George Bush, but I have to admit, right now, I am just very disappointed in this person. I'm disappointed in his administration. I'm disappointed in how he has a lackluster kind of like control of certain agencies within his own administration. I have problems with him not doing the job that I expect. Look, the running of this country isn't just the war. Okay? I mean, he's already losing support on that, gentlemen. The running of this country isn't about the war. It's about everything else as well. Domestic-oriented issues as well. I got the last word on here, Mike.
Well, I think you oversimplify things by saying Republicans have controlled Congress, they control the executive branch, so why didn't they fix all these problems? There is a third political party out there. It's called the federal bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're Republicans or Democrats. Yes, you control the management, you control the political appointees at the top, but if the body doesn't want to move, it doesn't matter what the head's saying. And that's a big problem that we have with how big this federal government has become, is that it doesn't matter who's in charge. You have a very difficult time moving that Titanic of a ship when you want to change things.
Okay, so let's go on directly to the next segment. Apparently, they knew. According to the French newspaper, apparently the French Secret Service produced 9 reports between September 2000 and August 2001 that Al-Qaeda was threatening U.S. and were preparing to take over airplanes. Gentlemen, we're running relatively short of time. Robert, I know how you'd like to talk about this, so go right ahead. You got the first.
Sure,
news.
The French did it. Okay. Yeah, right.
I mean, Mike, for the most part, we're talking about an administration here that says the French knew. Are you kidding me?
Well, I think that a lot of people knew. We just didn't know that they were going to use these planes as missiles.
Chris.
Who knew? Come on, give me a break. Everybody probably knew, but they didn't know when, why, how, and where it was going to go.
Well, my whole point being is that if you're going to say anybody knew, don't say the French knew. It's like saying Canada knew. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And when we come back, we're going to continue our diversity discussion. Stay with Focus on Diversity. We'll be right back.